and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to News Talk with yours truly, Chris Anu, coming to you from the great state of Texas, precisely Houston, Texas. It's always a privilege to come to you with updates on the Ambazonian struggle for independence actualization. I am so excited to also have you on the other end of this screen. Please, thank you for tuning in, and for those of you joining by way of social media, I expect you to go ahead and hit that share button. Let us quickly populate the platform. Let those who do not know the anchor man is live. Let them know I am not just live. I am indeed alive, in spite of all the stones thrown from every corner. The anchor man is still alive and actually kicking. So please do me the favor, go ahead and hit your share button. Let us quickly populate the Facebook platform, the YouTube platform, Roku. We can watch Roku live. But those of you watching by satellite television in all of Africa, I want to believe you are glued to your set. And I'd like to say good evening and welcome to the show tonight. It promises to be very, very exciting. We're going to be exclusively discussing the subject of 11th February, an occasion that has been celebrated in the Cameroon. That means including Ambazonia. Ever since I was born, in fact, before I was born, that event was celebrated. And my understanding of history is that that event was originally meant to celebrate Ambazonia's withdrawal from the Nigerian Eastern House of Assembly. In fact, the cutting away from Nigeria of the then Southern Cameroons. And you hear the word Southern Cameroons, former British Southern Cameroons, and you also hear the word West Cameroon. And many of you out there do not understand where these terminologies are coming from. Southern Cameroons and West Cameroon, and when they were invoked, when they were being used, the appropriate application of those two words. We're going to enlighten you and educate you today on where they are coming from. But please, again, I expect you to go ahead, hit your share button. Before I can join you with the show proper. In the meantime, I will let you do that, and I will be right back in 1 second or a little more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put and hitting your share button. I want to believe as we continue that you will go ahead, continue to hit the share button until we get that number we're looking for here on Facebook for those of you watching by way of Facebook. I will start tonight with the reorganization that we are putting in place here at the interim government. You heard me from the beginning of the year, and I said we want to prosecute this struggle, the struggle for Ambazonia's independence in a surgical manner. We have put our diplomatic wheels on the move, and they are moving in a dynamic manner. By dynamic manner, I mean all that it will take us to pursue the diplomatic route and process is just hit the phone or hit some buttons and things are done in certain places. We don't have to labor about that because we have procured the services of a lobbyist who is there to do that for us. Now, having done that, we thought we should turn our attention to reorganizing the interim government and, of course, the struggle itself. The struggle itself, because when you reorganize the interim government, you are essentially reorganizing the locomotive that runs this struggle. And so we have a committee that has been set up, and that committee is currently putting together modalities for new elections at the local government levels and at the county levels in all of our 13 counties. Now, why this is important is because we know many of you are out there who have been sitting at the fringes, just hoping that there is a miracle, hoping that, something happens and Ambazonia is giving to us. Comrades, why this reorganization is important is for twofold. Number one, we want the participation of every Ambazonian. We want the participation of every Ambazonian in the process of the redemption of our independence. I have said again and again that there is no way you can sit by the wayside and hope that victory comes to us. It's not going to happen. It has never happened anywhere. In fact, we've been fighting now, going into the 8th year. And a lot of people do. Cameroon is not about to surrender, capitulate to us. They are not ready to do that. But the more they see us resist, the more they see our defiance, the more they see our determination and the courage of our fighters on the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, La République du Cameroon, we have no alternative, no option but to sit down and talk dialogue, talk negotiation with Ambazonia, which is why we want the participation of everybody. I know for sure many of you out there have been disappointed in the past with this interim government in particular. When I mean this interim government, I mean this interim government as put in place from day number one. We had Sisiko, we had Sako Ikome Samuel, we had Marianta, and now you have Chris Ano. I know for sure this interim government let many of you down, especially when it comes to transparency in leadership. They failed you, and many of you got so disgruntled and you decided to sit by the wayside. A few weeks ago, I launched this 200 club, the $1,000 each 200 club. And I have been so amazed with people coming in and saying, Comrade Chris, I decided never again to, a guy called me from Canada and said, Comrade Chris, after what I saw with my trip to Boya, I decided never to give a dime again for this struggle. But what I see you doing, I will come in, I will give my $1,000. I want to belong to that club. I had a lady call in from Florida who said, I decided not to give anything. I withdraw my Ambazonia due subscription. I decided not to give anything again. But what you are doing, I am coming in to be part of the 1,000 club. And she went about and renewed her Amber dues. There are very many stories like this one out there. What we are trying to do, comrades, is to reorganize this machine. We want to reorganize this movement in a way that everyone sees the need again to come back to the fold and to participate and to support it. That is what we are trying to do. And so my appeal is to every one of you out there. I appreciate it when you say, Comrade Chris, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you, Comrade Chris. God bless you, Comrade Chris. May God keep and protect you, Comrade Chris. I appreciate all of that, and I love it because it motivates me to even do better. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, all those platitudes will not take this struggle to anywhere. They won't take us an inch to any destination. The only thing that will take us an inch out of where we are now is when you come in and show your presence and show your financial support. Wars are not won, ladies and gentlemen, with platitudes. Wars are won with arms and money. With arms and money. And that is my appeal to all of you out there. Whichever county that you belong to, please, my appeal to you is to identify your local government area. Please identify your county. And if you want to be in the middle of leadership, go there and seek leadership in your county, in your LGA, and have a big role to play in the decisions that are taken at the LGA and county levels. I'd like you to know that every time we raise funds at the county LGA levels, the funds do not come to the central administration. The LGAs and the counties, they manage their own funds that are raised to take care of things happening within their own neck of the wood, within their own communities. And so I really want to appeal to every Ambazonian. We have to reconstitute all the LGAs and the all counties. Some are going by counties, some are going with LGAs. Anyone, that is just okay. But for that to happen, we need your engagement. We need your participation. That is my appeal to you. Again, elections have been put together. A committee has been put together between the central government, the cabinet, and members of the Restoration Council, and they are working on the modalities for those elections. And I want you to participate. It is not somebody's thing. It is not Chris Anu's thing. It is not Ann in the thing and talking about the Honorable Ann of the Restoration Council. It is not our thing, ladies and gentlemen. I am looking forward to next year to hand this thing over and move aside and get somebody to continue. And I think that is what leadership ought to be. And what has destroyed this struggle is the problem of leaders coming to sit tight, like in La République du Cameroon. I am over 50 years old. I have known only two leaders in that damn country called La République du Cameroon, Ahijo and Paul Biya. That is not the kind of country we want to build in Ambazonia, where leaders come and they sit tight. They don't want to move. It doesn't matter how good you perform, ladies and gentlemen. At the back of your head, you should always be thinking of the moment, the time, the hour that you give it over to someone else. This idea that some leaders are God ordained. I hear people calling that title, oh, Comrade Chris, you are God ordained. Sako was God ordained. Sisiko was God ordained. Until what happened? Until what happened? Ladies and gentlemen, we should always learn, be in that mentality that the better person may still be ahead. The best person, the best leader, the better leader may still be ahead. And so when you begin to crown people and ordain people as God-ordained leaders, it's a mistake. It's a mistake. You never know the best thing until you compare two of them before you know. So I am looking, we are not doing this reorganization to consolidate powers here at the interim government under Chris Anu. I am looking forward to handing this over next year. My tenure will be over, and I will hand it over and remain in the background and help like any other comrade would. But we are doing this for the betterment of our struggle. We are doing this so we can succeed. We are doing this so funds can continue to come in. We are doing this so everybody counts. Everybody counts in this struggle. So that is my appeal. Please join the exercise. Join in your LGA, your county, wherever you are. Some of you are in Europe, Asia, USA, and we call it countries and regions in the diaspora. I also want to appeal to you, please think about reorganizing your countries and your regions. This thing, ladies and gentlemen, I can't hide it from you. It is all about money, money, money. That's what it's all about. Without money, we cannot win. Without it, we cannot win. So my appeal to everyone Ambazonian out there is, please join this reorganization exercise. Be counted among those who fought for Ambazonia. When the records are read, when history is written, you want to be known as one of those who stood still, one of those last standing Ambazonian who fought for it, not just with your prayers, not just with your wishes, but with your money. That's what we want. And before I change the subject, I just want again to remind all of you out there, I am still looking for people who will join the 200 Club. I am still looking for people who will say, Comrade Chris, we are in the diaspora. I am in the diaspora. And I will never be able to go down to ground zero to go pick up arms to defend Ambazonia. By that, you are able to send your money to fight and defend Ambazonia. Please, I appeal to you. Join the 200 Club. Join that 200 Club. All you need to do is send me a text message, or you give me a call, not now, probably after this show is over. If you want to text, you can text now. But I need people, Ambazonians, patriotic Ambazonians, who would want to say, Comrade Chris, I really appreciate your effort, but I don't just want to verbally express it. I want to participate, to be a blessing, to be a patriot in being part of the club. Again, we are looking for 200 Ambazonians who can give us $1,000 between now and the end of March. Between now and the end of March. If you're one of those, please, my appeal is to you. Just 200 Ambazonians. Imagine how many of us, comrades, are here outside in the diaspora. In the Washington, D.C., Maryland axis alone. Let's just say Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania. Just imagine, all the way to New York. Just imagine how many Ambazonians are out there in this axis. Talk less of Texas. Talk less of Boston. Talk less of Chicago and every other. Now, Europe. Without the USA and Europe, maybe this thing would have been long dead, because the bulk of the funds going to the people on the ground are coming from people in the USA and Europe. So please, of the millions of us in the diaspora, I'm only asking for 200 who will say, Comrade Chris, I am willing to give you $1,000 to carry on the projects you have earmarked between now and October. 200 of you. So please, you know my number, the number that I use on the screen here for live shows. Text me or call later on that number. And you can call when I open the phone lines to volunteer your support. And we will get back to you with payment information, actually join you in the club. But if you don't want to be, we have the club actually there. If you don't want to mention the release there or expose there, you just want to give the $1,000 and stay out, that is perfectly okay. There are many who have just given their money and say, I don't want to be in the forum, but just take the money and know that I am part of it. That is still okay. So please, I am pleading with you, I am begging you. I am not collecting that money to earn a salary out of it, ladies and gentlemen. I have never earned a dime here, at this interim government. Not just when I became the leader, when I've been in this thing from day number one. From day number one, I have not earned a dime here. So please, this is not for Chris Anu, this is for Ambazonia. So I am really begging you, let us sponsor this struggle. Without money, we are dead. We are as good as nothing. All right? I don't know how strong I can make that, but that is my appeal to all of you out there. When I come back, I will bring you my monologue and bring in my panel for tonight. Please stay tuned. Do not touch your remote and keep on hitting your share button. Thank you. I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for staying put at this moment. I am going to take you into my monologue, my talking points for the day. And this talking point is titled, Why Ambazonians Boycott 11th February? Why Ambazonians despise, detest the celebration of so-called 11th February. That is the subject of my talking point. As we approach the so-called 11th February celebration, it is imperative that we take a moment to reflect on the significance of this date and what it truly represents for our people. In light of the ongoing conflict and the loss of our freedoms and liberties to the Republic of Cameroon, it is with great urgency that we announce a national lockdown of all Ambazonian territory, beginning the 10th of February to the 12th of February. The 11th February marks a day when our homeland was subjected to annexation and when our rights were trampled upon. It was not a day of celebration, but rather a day when our voices were silenced and our future was dictated by external forces. This date should not be commemorated as a youth day, not at all, but rather remembered as the day when our right to self-determination was unjustly taken away from us. It was plebiscite day in Ambazonia, a day that forever changed our destiny against our will. In the face of such injustice, it is therefore essential for Ambazonians to demonstrate our collective anger and detest of the Cameroon regime by staying home during the forced celebrations. We therefore call upon all parents, schools, and colleges to keep their students at home on 11 February, ensuring that no part of our community participates in these celebrations. This is a peaceful and powerful way for us to stand in unity and show the world our rejection of the ongoing occupation of our territory, Ambazonia. During this period, all transportation in and out of Ambazonia will be shut down, and we urge everyone to respect this lockdown. Defaulters will be treated as blacklegs, as we must stand firm in our resolve to peacefully resist the oppressive forces that seek to subjugate all of us. It is also crucial to note that the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, the ARF, will have our support and backing and power to arrest those they find going out to take part in the celebrations. We urge everyone to respect this directive for the safety and well-being of our entire community, Ambazonian community. We understand here at the IGU the inconveniences that may arise from this lockdown, but we believe that this sacrifice is necessary to demonstrate our unwavering commitment to our cause. Only medical facilities shall be allowed to operate to ensure the continued health and well-being of our people during these days. The lockdown will commence on Saturday, the 10th of February, and will continue through to Monday, which is Ghost Town, the 12th. Again, this coincides with our regular Ghost Town Day. This period will serve as a poignant reminder to the world that Ambazonians stand united in our pursuit of justice and self-determination. As we stand in solidarity during this time, let us remember the sacrifices of our heroes who have fallen and the resilience of those who are still standing and defending homeland. Our commitment to peaceful resistance is a testament to our unwavering resolve in the face of adversity. Together, we will continue to advocate for the restoration of our rights and the recognition of Ambazonia as a free and sovereign nation, an independent Ambazonia. And that is my talking point to you, ladies and gentlemen. I am being joined tonight by comrade from Dallas, Texas, Comrade Tapan Ivo. Comrade Ivo, it's a pleasure to have you tonight, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. 5 on 5.
Okay, perfect. Great. Thanks.
Wonderful. I know that you have been following this event you are a reporter in, I think, was it CRTV Yaoundé?
Yes, of course, certainly.
And I'm sure you were one of those who reported this event with all the praises lavish at the head of state for making this. Tell us a little bit about it, how you guys went about it at CRTV.
I would always say this: poverty is a public policy. So when you make the people poor, you can control them. And that's exactly the tool used by the Cameroon government to control the masses. So they would deliberately make you dependent on the system, dependent on the government to feed your family. So I would not blame those who are back home who are struggling getting jobs, or struggling applying for jobs, or struggling working for the government, because they are tied. There is nothing else they could do. Another issue is the issue of enlightenment. The revolution sparked up with steam in 2017, and most people woke up in arms, others woke up in peace plans, just to revolt against the government, because we our citizens of Ambazonia raised the flag so high, educated the masses about the necessities to break away from neighboring Cameroon and create our own country that has been in existence anyway before 1961. So the people of Ambazonia are resolved like never before to keep educating themselves about these ills by the Cameroon government. I had worked with CRTV before. I had also worked with the BBC. I had worked with CNN for the United Nations. But notwithstanding, I would say the bedrock, starting with the Cameroon government, was because of poverty. Well, when our people are poor, you can easily control the masses. And that's what the Cameroon government is doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know over there, lots of people do so many things because they have no option to do what they
Yeah.
do. I know I've spoken to newspaper publishers and editors down there on the ground, and I said to them, "Hey, you guys publish all these spin stories. Why not at least try to get our own perspective, our own angles?" They say, "You don't want us going to prison." I contacted, is it Afrik Media or something
African
like
media.
that,
Yes.
and said, "Hey, you bring all these La Republic agents on your set, and they spin the whole narrative of what this thing is all about. Please, please, I want to come on board to at least give
Let,
our
let,
side."
let- let me
And
add something, Mr. Chris. Let
yes,
me just add something. If you've clearly noticed, 2 days ago or 3 days ago, when Cameroon was playing against Gambia, the TV Monde or the TV5 Monde,
yeah.
whatever it's called in French, raised our flag in replacement of Cameroon. Cameroon summoned the French ambassador. They also petitioned the TV5 Monde that this is illegal and they should redress the problem. Ambazonia, we have not done anything. Guess what? This is the best opportunity to sue the French government and to sue TV5 Monde and claim huge amount in terms of material damage, in terms of damages, and raise the revolutionary flag so high. This is the best moment. Why? The flag is a national symbol, an emblem, the national pride for the Ambazonian people. You cannot misuse our flag just anyhow and think you would go without an apology. They need to at least, at minimum, issue the same kind of apology they did for the Cameroon government. If we are not doing this, then we are sleeping on our laurels and we don't have the right legal minds to pursue this particular struggle. We have 5+ million at least 400,000 legal minds across the world, and we should be able to petition the Cameroon government and its accomplice, France, to bring them to book and to issue an apology on behalf of misusing the national emblem of Ambazonia.
Asking for an apology, yes, I may perhaps buy that angle of it, but to sue them, I don't know what you will sue them. Asking what will be the damages, I don't know. Yes, but asking for an apology, yeah, I think I would definitely go with that. But suing them, you're not the first person mentioning that. I really don't know what I will go suing them, asking the
No,
damages to be.
that's why I think I would really strongly suggest that we should come up with. I brought in the idea of having legal minds. We have lawyers who are spread across the world. We have people who can clearly deliberate this particular issue. We have connections with Ambazonians who are participants of the revolution and who can bring the France government and its propaganda media TV5 Monde to book.
Let me bring in the comrade Atem Dennis, who is joining us from Africa to give us his take on this subject of suing TV5, TV5 in France. What is your take there, comrade Dennis?
Thank you very much, Comrade Chris.
I know you have a very you always
In
have a
fact,
very critical mind, so I'd like to know what you think about
yes,
this idea of
I
suing
have sought legal
TV5.
opinion. I have sought legal opinion on our chances of suing TV5 for abusing our flag. It is not acceptable that we should be fighting a war of independence or restoration, and TV5 will take our flag and place it in the place of our oppressor. So I think it is an offense to us also that they should be doing so. I sought legal opinion from a very high standing legal mind, and he advised that our chances are very slim to sue TV5 Mon for what they did. The reasons being that, first of all, you will need to establish the damages you have suffered just
Right.
from this act. Yes, you will need to establish that. And you will need, first of all, to have written to them to seek understanding of what actually happened and exhaust that before you actually go ahead and sue them. So there are quite some intricacies that will prevent us from actually suing TV5 Mon and getting financial damages paid to us. There are many other issues that I could have raised here, but they are not necessary. But it's just the fact that we have a legal impediment there that we needed, first of all, to exhaust the possibility of having redress from them before we go ahead and sue them. So I think it is a good idea that we should not just be taking this for granted, but we should act as people who believe in their flag, who reject Cameroon completely, and say to TV Sengmon, please, this should never be done. Don't place our flag in the place of our oppressor. This is very clear. So we could have done that, but it's not late. Even if we just, for the purpose of taking action for its own sake, it should go down
Correct.
as a record that we took action against TV5 Mon for this
Exactly.
kind of act.
All right. Like sit up and nodding. He said a lot
Yeah,
out
no,
there.
I
Let's hear
completely
what he
agree
has to
with
add.
you. I completely agree with our learned comrade over there. It is look, how do you stamp out authority in a revolution? How do you bring out? How do you project yourself? How do you control outcomes? This is the perfect opportunity for us to rise up and gather a few people to send emails to request formally, maybe through a note verbal, formally for some kind of a redress of the situation. At least they should recognize Ambazonia by writing to us. They recognized the flag of Ambazonia. They knew exactly what was happening. They knew exactly whom the flag belongs to. It is no coincidence. There is something happening. It could have been maybe a way of pinching Cameroon. It could have been a way of maybe mocking Ambazonia. It could have been a way of just stirring trouble or fomenting issues where there are no issues. So we need this particular redress formally from the TB5 Mond to the people of Ambazonia.
Well, if you look at the circumstances under which that flag was projected out there, TV Mong was uh, projecting Cameroon, inserting the flag of Ambazonia to represent Cameroon as having won the victory to the 16th round of the African Cup of Nations. And I was thinking, could it be? Could it be? I mean, I'm trying to be the devil's advocate. Could
No,
it
Mr.
be
Chris, there's no
that they
coincidence.
were?
It's not a coincidence. It's not a look.
Yeah, so
There are
you make the
200
point, but
plus.
then
There are
hold
200
on there,
plus.
hold on there. It
Yeah.
may not have been a coincidence, so you go and sue them. What if they were doing that in our favor to
Yeah,
support
what's
us?
what a fine? They have never been in our favor anyway. They've never been in our favor. Why do
Okay.
you expect favor from someone who has never voiced favor for you? It cannot be in our favor. Look, there are 200 plus flags, national flags across the world. It is no coincidence, even by what kind of random sampling, that you would pick out one, only one, coincidentally neighboring Ambazonia to represent Cameroon. You will tell me otherwise.
Comrade Dennis, what do you think there? Could it be that
No,
we are trying to shoot at someone who
Comrade
is trying to
Chris,
help us?
no, even if they were going to help us, in law, that would not be clear. You cannot, you are the only one who can come out and say that they were trying to help you. But that is only a presumption because they did not consult you before doing it. So the best thing that we can do as a government is to file a protest with TV5 Mon and ask them to correct the mistake. Now, when
Exactly.
they fail, that is when we have a case against them. But because the law of the press requires that we first of all file a protest with TV5 and give them an opportunity to correct their mistake before we can take legal action against them. So this is the minimum we can do at this stage. whether they were acting in our favor or not, it is a prejudice to us as a people.
And time is of essence. The earlier we do this within 24, 48 hours, the better for us. We are wasting so
Yes.
much time. This is an email, a straightforward email, an issuance of a note verbal to the French government for its propaganda media brandishing our flag, whereas they have been supporting, aiding, and abetting crimes in neighboring Cameroon against the people of Ambazonia.
All right, all right. I think I hear you guys out there. I hear you guys out there. But let us get back to the subject of 11th of February. Comrade Dennis, uh, you are a historian and you have these things at the tip of your finger. Uh, the question of 11th February, there is always a tendency to think that this was the making of La République du Cameroun, whereas 11th February was actually instituted by the government of Southern Cameroons under Foncha. Many people do not, I realize many people do not know this out there, even though today we protest the celebration of 11th February. But I say that to say that, as far as I'm concerned, we resist it because I think when Foncha instituted the celebration of this 11th February, it started on October 6th. It was never meant to be 11th February, but it was changed to 11th February from October or every October 26th to 11th February only after the plebiscite. I don't know whether it is possible. The French Cameroon government told Foncha, why not move it to the 11th of February? And so Foncha removed it from October 26th to 11th of February. I don't know what you know about this, but please give us your opinion on this.
Comrade Chris, unfortunately, I don't know that part of the history. But as far as I'm concerned, what is important here is to make it clear that the plebiscite was not the act by which we surrendered our sovereignty to Cameroon. I heard Yongute saying something so absurd as to say that people should go and verify that we voted to join Cameroon. No, this is completely false. You see, the origin of that plebiscite was Resolution 1352 of 16 October 1959, in which the UN asked us whether.
Comrade
Hello?
Dennis, Comrade Dennis, hold on a
Yes?
second. Hold on a second there. Let me read a text here. Let me read this to our understanding. Youth Day was an initiative of the West Cameroon government, introduced initially to replace the National Day, which prior to reunification was celebrated every 26 October. It is not evident from archival sources why 26 October was considered a national day, but it is probable that it was the local date on which Empire Day was celebrated in the British Trust Territory. Now, in 1962, less than a year after gaining its independence by joining French Cameroon, John Foncha, West Cameroon's prime minister at the time, recommended that it was befitting to dedicate West Cameroon's National Day to its youth, on whom the future state depended. It is not clear, according to this author, if this recommendation was debated in the assembly, but it was enforced that same year. Now, I hope you heard me. Just after the plebiscite, less than a year after that, John Foncha changed the National Day, the Youth Day, from October 26th to 11th of February. And this guy is saying he is not sure whether the West Cameroon House of Assembly debated it. It just happened. So my concern is it possible? I want us to debate this. And those of you watching out there, if you have any idea, please feel free to call in.
Let me.
Yes,
Yeah, I think that.
go on there.
Yeah, let me come in. I think we're making a misconception here. On February 11, 1961, it was the day officially signified as a political event for for the plebiscite of Cameroon. And then later down that particular year, we started having October 1, which was for the whatever they call the reunification of Southern Cameroons and French Cameroon. And then we also had other events that took place. But the significance of that particular day, February 11, it stems from 1961 on February 11 when they organized the plebiscite, that sham. So guess what happened? Down the lane, Ahijo and other political leaders decided, because of the youthful population of Cameroon in those days, the British Southern Cameroons, and that of La République du Cameroon, because there was so many of the youthful population, they decided to make that particular day as the day that they will commemorate the youth in both countries. And this is exactly what has stamped up as the Youth Day being celebrated and celebrated. So politically, it is the day for that plebiscite. And we, not recognizing La République du Cameroon, we have every reason, every right to break away and to ban and to boycott and to engage in civil disobedience on that particular day. So we should make no mistake here. It's that particular day for the plebiscite, and we should not be recognizing that at all.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was going to get there, but Comrade Dennis, go on. I guess you want to say something there.
No, what I want to say is that whatever was the origin of that day, this day has become a sickening day for us because of our terrible history with La République du Cameroon. They have been interpreting 11 February as the day on which we were integrated into their country. And this is
Correct.
absolutely false. I was about to say that I heard somebody like Diongute trying to falsify the history by saying that on 11 February we were integrated into La République du Cameroon. No, that is completely false. Completely. You see, no country, no territory that is going to be integrated into another causes that order to reduce its status. By accepting federation, it was actually a diminution of the status of independence of La République du Cameroon. So consequently, you cannot claim that if we were being integrated into La République du Cameroon, La République du Cameroon will reduce its own status by accepting us. So completely, it is false. Remember also that the plebiscite was a process between the Southern Cameroon and the United Nations. Nigeria and La République du Cameroon were completed parties to it. It was simply, if you have a daughter, for example, and you say to the daughter, now tell me, who will you like to marry? Will you like to marry Paul or marry Peter? Can Paul come and say that because the daughter has said that she would like to marry Paul, the marriage has been concluded? No, not at all, not at
Well,
all.
you understand, they
That
also
it was a declaration of intention. You tell your father who you want to marry, then your father begins the process of getting the two of you married. This is what it is. So on the 11th of February, the people of the Southern Cameroons declared their intention to United Nations, not to Nigeria or La République du Cameroon, that they wanted to achieve their independence in association with La République du Cameroon. Only after this declaration would the United Nations now take the steps to create the union that they declared they wanted to create. And the United Nations actually went ahead passing Resolution 1608, in paragraph 5 of which they call for the implementation of the policies agreed between the parties. So this should be clear. Diongute should in his head and understand it clearly that the Southern Cameroons were not being integrated into La République du Cameroon. And I would like to emphasize that by reading Resolution 1350 of 13 October 1959, where Northern Cameroon was being asked. Let me read it to you and you hear. This resolution of the United Nations 1350 to Northern Cameroons. Do you wish the Northern Cameroons to be part of the northern region of Nigeria when the Federation of Nigeria becomes independent? B, are you in favor of deciding the future of the Northern Cameroons at a later date? Now, in all United Nations resolution where a territory was being integrated into another, the word integrated or becoming part was used. In no case Does the United Nations grant independence to a territory that is going to be integrated into another? No. So we were not being integrated into Cameroon at all. This is the most fundamental fact that we should bring to our people, to Diongute, to Atanganji, and all those people propagating false information that we were integrated into La République du Cameroon through the plebiscite. Remember also that the plebiscite was not its own implementation. This is why in Resolution 1608, they are calling for the implementation of the policies agreed upon. So all of these things that have been confused in history, this fellow in Bafusam, so-called, what's his name again? This Kamto, also
Okay.
telling those lies and pretending. No, this should be made very clear. This should be made very clear. There was a pre-plebiscite agreement between La République du Cameroun and Southern Cameroon that in the event that the plebiscite vote went in favor of La République du Cameroun, a federation of two states equal in status would be created. That equality was not territorial equality. It was not in terms of population. It was in terms of status. This should be made very clear. So these are the things that I want us to clarify our public, and Dion Gute, Tanganji, and all those people who are making this false propaganda.
I have a concern. Look, sometimes we should always think about our audience. We should think about our masses, to think about our strength. The majority of the Ambazonian people are all youths. Most of us were born in the 1980s, and we are the ones who are picking up arms right now. We don't have time for history. We don't really have that time. As long as our parents told us they made a mistake, as long as we know that the marriage was never signed by the United Nations, it is good enough for us to proceed. We are wasting time talking about history. We should be spending time investing on how we can break up completely from this gangster regime of neighboring La République du Cameroon. The ordinary man on the street is not standing to look at the history books when fighting La République du Cameroon. Right now, 11 February is coming up. How do we boycott this? We are determined. There are international laws that protect self-determination, and our right to self-determination is sacrosanct. We cannot in any way trade our right to self-determination in whatever means to joining La République du Cameroon. People have broken up of their formed countries. States have all grown off based on the 1648 Westphalia Treaty. Things have evolved over time. States will continue. Nationalism will always continue to be the trending topic with globalization, even the next 2 centuries. Ambazonians, we should be thinking how we can we are almost there. We are closer to it.
That's a very good point, Ivo, and I think that is the reason we are here, and this education becomes very important because there are, as you said, the lion's share of this generation probably was born in the late 70s and 80s, as you said, and they know very little of this history that we are talking about. One thing we should be pushing at this moment is the humanitarian catastrophe that this war, atrocious war, has brought upon our people. And point that, use that to, why is the international community in Palestine, Israel and Palestine,
Exactly.
why are they in Ukraine? Because of the humanitarian catastrophe. And if we will succeed, we must continue to hammer that. I always believe there is the moment we come, when we sit on the table and tell them why we are where we are and why we fight, which is that narrative. But let us get back to this 11 February thing. One of the reasons we are doing this is to send a message to the international community. There is war in our territory. Our people are being slaughtered. Our towns and villages are being decimated. They are being burnt down. And how can we go out carrying placards and marching and celebrating that we're celebrating some youth day that doesn't exist? A country in which the youth have no hope. What is that celebration about when our people are being buried in their numbers? If any Ambazonian should think of boycotting, staying at home, respecting this lockdown, this should be the number one reason. If I'm wrong, correct me. Then after I'll come to Comrade Dennis. Comrade Dennis, you are cutting your face on your camera, please.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And this is exactly what we are looking forward to. When we started the boycott, I think it was Mark and Tapang Ivo who rolled out this strategy of boycotting completely 11 February. And that was shortly before or shortly after Agbobala and Fontemneba were all arrested. People thought we were joking, and we had 100% boycott of this sham called 11 February. Ever since, it has always been enforced, even if we announce it or we don't announce it, the people naturally align to the 2017 strategy. Now, when we talk about the boycott itself, we are sending four key messages. Number one, Cameroon has lost legitimacy and authority over Ambazonia. Number two, we are against anything doing with Cameroon through boycotts. Number three, we are standing for civil disobedience. And number four, we are projecting ourselves on a self-rule platform. I like the point raised by Comrade Chris when he spoke about the genocide happening elsewhere in the world, Ukraine and Palestine, and why is Ambazonia's own being shoved under the carpet. I would want to say this is the point where we start looking at the ANC and Julius Malema of South Africa, and how they've pressured even Israel, or the case of Israel, to be heard at the ICC. Look, South Africa has not turned a blind eye to the atrocities happening, especially in West Africa with Cameroon versus Ambazonia. No. South Africa is stamping out its authority, its moral authority across the world. Guess what? Just by taking a whole large, big, strong, very powerful backed state like Israel to the ICC, it tells African leaders to start sitting down and being morally upright. Because the moment South Africa will pick on Cameroon, I guess where Pobia will be buried, it should be at the ICC. Can you hear me? Hello, Chris?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Dennis, adjust your camera. Your face is cut off, please.
Yeah, I think I can just keep talking if Mr. Chris is. Yeah, pretty much what I'm saying basically is that.
Comrade Dennis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes, your face is cut off. Adjust your camera slightly. Your face is almost cut off.
Now, this is the challenge I have. You know, my camera is. I don't know. Let me see how.
There you go.
I think that's fine. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, all right. Now, I totally agree with Comrade Tapang that the essential thing now is for us to reject any association with La République du Cameroun, no matter the interpretation that they try to place on the 11th February. But let us remember that what we do, it is important because the human mind is a logical mind. The human mind wants to understand. If we just say we fight and they are on the ground deceiving our people that, oh, this you voted to join us through 11th February, you did this, you did that. We are not with our people to be educating them and telling them because their minds will try to find where the truth lies. And therefore, this element of truth is so critically important that we must use it to our own advantage because the truth is on our side. It is true that we never joined these people. I even heard Comrade Chris talking of reunification. No, there could be no reunification after the dismemberment of German Cameroon. No, they were already a sovereign state. They had their date of birth, which was the 1st of January 1960. We were another state. So you could not talk of reunification. No, these were two foreign people to each other.
I don't remember saying that, but listen, I have never believed in anything reunification. I don't know.
Exactly, reunification is a whole.
That's a blind question. Can you marry twice without any divorce? You cannot marry twice without any divorce.
Reunification is a hoax. It's a complete hoax.
But you
You
know,
see,
when they talk about reunification, they are trying to go back to before the colonial era,
that is
to
what I
send a
mean.
message that we used to be one. Well,
One with
there
who?
were
No,
no,
we were never
there was
one.
no
We no, never one. We did not speak
right.
the same
Right.
language. We did
That's
not
why I
have the
always
same
ask people,
educational
what
system.
is this reunification
No,
about? It is
it was
history
just
that is corrupted because it was never that people like Professor Victor Julius Ngo would want people to believe, oh, this is all about reunification, reunification.
No, I mean
No, there
these
is
are
it is
nothing like
complete falsehood.
reunification. Go
you
on,
know,
please.
It's absolutely nothing like reunification. You
there's
see,
been a lot of
those are the
brainwashing.
falsehoods that our
Yeah.
people were silent on, and they took it and started multiplying it, indoctrinating our people that there was something called reunification. That is complete falsehood. There was nothing like reunification. It was simply an attempt, the process of annexing our territory, that led them to use those phony and false words, terms such as reunification. No, there couldn't be any reunification amongst people who did not know themselves. We did not speak German. They don't speak German. They did not have anything. There was no German assembly
We never spoke
that
French either.
united the two people. No, we never spoke French. We had a
Now
different
let's be
educational
honest.
system, a
Why would
different colonial heritage, and so on.
why would a false professor, with all due respect, why would a false professor like Victor Julius Ngo, who is completely a francophone, many people don't know,
He's a
his older
francophone, yeah.
brother, he is a francophone, mom, dad, francophone. His older brother, who passed of blessed memory, Zachary Kwo, direct one mom, one dad, biological brother, completely francophone, who studied in the British Southern Cameroons. Why would you want to project someone who is completely a francophone? Projecting his history books. This is ludicrous. To project his history books as the Bible for us to use as a ground truth for our unity with Cameroon. This guy, if you compare his history books with those of Professor Verkijika Fanso, I think is it Verkijika or whatever? I think it's what Fanso. I don't know if it's Verkijika but Fanso. Professor Fanso, they are all at variance. They disagree on significant points. Look, it is an agenda for Cameroon to keep lying to the people of Ambazonia. Let me tell you this. Why should we boycott 11 February? One, boycott it because French, which is a language, a foreign language in Ambazonia, is rated coefficient 5. Unfortunately, I don't know if Mr. Atem here, maybe he studied in the era of City and Guilds. We, or the youths, we studied in systems where French was rated as coefficient 5, even before mathematics, physics, and all the STEMs. French was rated coefficient 5 even before English, the English language we now speak. French was the most highly rated subject. If you don't pass French, you will not in any way graduate from any Anglophone university. No way. You will carry, even if you validate all your major courses, you will keep carrying French 101 and French 102 until you graduate. And this is exactly the logic they've been using to brainwash us, to keep us subjugated. We need to ban French. We need to ban all those teachers. Any French teacher should be arrested, or you go and teach in neighboring La République du Cameroon.
Comrade, it is unfortunate that since this war began, I have not heard that any French teacher was killed or ousted from class or anything like that. It is very unfortunate. Those are the mechanisms of annexation, you see, to completely assimilate us. Paul Biya himself admitted this in the Paris Peace Conference of November 1919 that his policies all this while have been attempts to assimilate us. And assimilation in international law is a crime.
It's
So
a
they
crime.
have been practicing this because of our quiet. They come and say reunification, they move on to the next thing, just continually assimilating us and telling us lies, filling our heads with all these intoxications, and our people never bothered to protest. It is very unfortunate, but nevertheless, whatever happened, we were bound to reject all of this. It was bound to unravel at some point, and it is in the process of unraveling now. So we should not, by any means, continue to accept all of this falsehood. In fact, all the signboards should be brought down. Everything French should be removed from our territory completely, completely. We
Let,
want to
let me
have
let me
our own lives.
let me
We
let me
want to
let me say
sing
something.
our own anthem, you know.
Let me say something before people start misconstruing that we are engineering of advocating for violence here. No, we are not in any way advocating for violence. We are advocating for boycotts, civil disobedience, ghost towns. Look, if you see what is happening in Ukraine, the United States, where I am right now, the country, the Western country where you are, is supporting in arms violence against the people of Russia in Ukraine, or even the Russian citizens in Ukraine. We in Ambazonia, we have the opportunity to do so, but we are not even closer to doing it, and we are not advocating for it, and we will not. All we are asking of these French citizens who are stamping the authority over our people, marginalizing and engaging and supporting genocide and ethnic cleansing, is for them to pack and leave. If you don't want to do so, you should be arrested. Citizens should engage in citizens policing by arresting these people who are corrupting our population, who are killing our people in masses. I've not said kidnap, I've said arrest. You have the right to do so. In the United States, I believe, as I've heard, I may verify my facts, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, citizens also have the right to arrest
But not
whenever
only
you hear.
that, not just that, Ivan, not just that. We have our territory. If we don't have the powers to arrest those we believe are facilitating the Republic of Cameroon's
Exactly.
occupation, then what are we fighting for?
Come
Why
on.
do we have fighters? Why do we have forces? That is why we here at the interim government have said we stand with the restoration fighters and we empower them. We empower them to arrest anybody who defies these lockdown instructions. It is our country. It is our territory. We would have to do everything that we can to resist La République du Cameroon till they come to sit down to talk with us. Let me tell you guys a little story. A few days ago, I got a message from Boya of some United Nations agencies trying to make the rounds in Ambazonia. Quite a number of them, UNHCR, WFP, UNESCO, and so on, they were asking if they can visit some of these places. And I said to them bluntly, we would not want to see any of your trucks anywhere in Ambazonia. This is the reason why. This war has been going on for going to the 8th year. Going to the 8th year. For how long has Ukraine been on? A little over 2 years. How about Palestine? Not up to 1 year. In the United Nations, it's all over. They held votes at the United Nations. They put funds to support. But in Ambazonia, where over 30,000 of our people have been killed, the United Nations has done nothing. And they were asking, we want to go and, do an appraisal of these communities and see what is happening. And I said to them, if you are very concerned about Ambazonia, the United Nations is in the position to put pressure on La République du Cameroon to end this conflict or at least to call a ceasefire. You want to visit Ambazonia and do your accessibility work? Go fight for a ceasefire. And we will allow you to penetrate Ambazonia. This is what our people must know. And the restoration forces must be educated enough to know this, that if this so-called United Nations reject our people who have been killed for 8 years, and they think they can just drive around freely in Ambazonia in the name of appraisal of the situation. Where have they been for 8 years? The Ukraine is there.
Comrade
2 years I've
Chris,
been there. They send money. They send material. They send everything. Palestine, they
Comrade
send
Chris,
everything to Palestine. But Ambazonia, is it because we are black people or what?
No, I mean,
Comrade Chris, even when
let
they
me.
come, they're only looking for their budget. They are working for themselves. They're not working for Ambazonia. They just want to go and narrate the humanitarian problems that are there, this and that, so that they should give them the budget to spend. That's all. That is all. And you know, double standards is the DNA, is in the DNA of white people. So they come, will they decide what they do? We were a trustee of the United Nations. The United Nations are not accounted. If you were to ask the United Nations, can you say exactly what happened to the Southern Cameroons? They will not tell you. Let me tell you a small story. I and late Mullah Litombe and Chief Chasaku, we engaged the United Nations. We communicated with them until when we asked them the question, can you give us the file on the last status of the Southern Cameroons with the United Nations? They stopped communication with us. Because as a trustee of the United Nations, after passing Resolution 1608, what did the United Nations do? The United Nations cannot account for what happened to the Southern Cameroons. It cannot. So really, it's unfortunate, but that is just the. I am happy you responded to them like that. We have to be
Well,
very
I would,
firm with those people,
I would
not
tend to take a,
compromise.
I'll tend to have a disagreement, especially with the response. The United Nations has its own political arm. They also have the humanitarian arm. And I'm that person who would always support humanitarian initiatives, even if there is a genocide or an ethnic cleansing. Like, for example, what is happening in Palestine, how the United Nations and the rest, they want to go in and someone is blocking them and blocking humanitarian aid. I don't support it. People are suffering. People are dying in neighboring Ambazonia. And we should be encouraging the right to passage of humanitarian needs to our
No, no.
people
In this
who are
case,
but
hold on.
let me
In this case,
I'll come there. I'll come there. But guess what? I've worked with the United Nations and I see a lot of bad things happening. Cameroon government always accompanies the United Nations officials or those of the the World Food Program or UNICEF, for example, those humanitarian agencies, even non-United Nations agencies. The Cameroon military always accompanies them to guide the security and the safety to those communities. If these guys want to come to Ambazonia, we shouldn't deny, but we should stand in the position of giving them the authority to guide their humanitarian passage, not Cameroon. When Cameroon government tries to calm our communities in the midst of a war, they are gathering information, they are infiltrating our communities, and they are mapping out locations for subsequent attacks.
that is exactly what the case is. But in this particular case, I asked specific questions. What is the mission about? Is it a humanitarian mission like to distribute food or clothing items? What is the mission? And the answer was no. We are going there to just visit the areas to see what is going on there. This is the right season to do so. The roads are better. And I asked them, this has been going on for 8 years. Where were you? Where were you? And by the way, we are not in the disaster zone. Ambazonians don't need handouts. They
Exactly.
need peace and justice. And Ivo, as you say, I understand the United Nations is made up of all these independent agencies, but don't forget, the political faction of it make their decisions from the reports they get from these field organizations.
I agree. I
And
agree.
they have been on the ground in Ambazonia for 8 years. Those people, they write reports, they send to the Security Council. The Security Council knows exactly what goes on in Ambazonia for the past 8 years.
Mr. Chris,
And they have
Mr.
no political will to act on those reports. So what are they going there to do that will change what has
But
happened?
Mr. Chris, I raised a point in 2017. Most people are not understanding how the UN works. The UN is not an organization that harvests money from somewhere. States fund the United Nations.
Correct.
People, organizations, donors are also funding the United Nations. We as Ambazonians, back in 2017, if we wanted the UN to act on our behalf, we could have come up with a budgetary plan to create a budget line in any of the humanitarian streams within the UN and say, hey, this budget line, I want to fund your humanitarian actions in Ambazonia. they will gladly do. I have worked with the United Nations. I know exactly how it works. Now, when
Do
you
you think we
control that
would have?
budget,
I kind of differ with that because I don't think we would have gotten
let me, let me, let
enough
me, let me just
money
cement my
to
let me
put
cement
in
my
their
point.
pocket,
Let me
much
cement.
more than
Let me
what
let me let me
Cameroon will put
conclude.
in their pocket.
No, let me conclude. Let me conclude my point.
Okay.
Once you create that, the UN already is independent. Cameroon cannot tell them what to do. No, Cameroon can keep funding its own projects, maybe in Garouabulai and all of those refugee places. They can keep funding those. We are funding our own. And once we're funding our own, certainly we will always have to report a CTREP, a situation report, what they call CTREP, or maybe a country report sent to us after every mission. Secondly, we should also have humanitarian organizers on the ground, Aya Foundation. Whenever they call you up to say, hey, we want to start going down based on this particular plan we have to execute, we will say, yeah, include our own humanitarian, work with our community developers, work with our own community organizations. Once you integrate our community organizations into their own, those reports can never be fully doctored. Whatever they'll be sending to the political hierarchy would make some sense.
But you understand that that is practically an impossibility because Cameroon knows that you are working on the ground on behalf of Ambazonia. You know, you are
Who
as
cares
good as
about
dead.
Cameroon? Look, this is where you set Cameroon on a trap or in a trap. Cameroon banning the United Nations, even Israel is facing difficulties banning banning
No, I mean
organizations within.
banning those working on our side with the United Nations on the ground because you don't know how many
So
people you
how
talk to. All
what
this.
enforcement strategy do they have? These are humanitarian agencies. You are literally accusing the UN of sponsoring whatever Cameroon would describe as terrorism. And the UN will pick on you, especially a small, weak, rogue state like Cameroon. They will quickly pick on Cameroon.
Let's hear from Comrade Dennis on this.
Well, I don't have much to add to what Comrade Tapang is saying, but the reality is that if these mechanisms, I don't know, I've not worked with the United Nations, whether it is possible for us as third parties to actually insert a line in their budget. I don't know that. You see, because
It's
we
very
would be
possible.
working from outside to insert a line in their budget. I don't know how practical that could be, but if it were possible, well, it would be something that we could do, but I just don't know how that works there.
It is
Well,
very, very possible. All we need, like for example, I don't want to like say I'm criticizing, but critiquing where you can say, hey, these are our weaknesses and I can add some solutions to those. We have always said, look, all these sums of money we keep collecting from left to right, all humanitarian agencies, and we keep questioning whether they're actually going on the ground. If we created this budget line, we will not be talking about this. We will be cementing our authority while really helping our people on the ground with reports actually coming and show, and we can provide to our people, this is the UN report, this is the UN women report, this is the WFP report, and exactly our people can have more trust and keep donating. These are the kind of
Why I agree with your idea, I would say that, hey, writing a report is one thing. Acting on it is quite another. As we said, those reports get to the political headquarters at the Security Council level and whatever level. And the forces that be, the French, the Americans,
The
the
English,
British, the Chinese, the
really.
Russians, know
Yes,
what it will take for them to
yes.
act because one of them has the sphere of influence over that particular territory. So let's move on from there and talk about this 11th February and the lockdown that we are implementing on the ground. Lots of people say, oh, lockdowns, ghost towns are not giving us Ambazonia. Why do you keep on calling for lockdowns and ghost towns? What would your response be, Ivo?
oh, look, let me tell you, Mr. Chris. Look, it's like when we started this thing 2017. I mean, maybe some of you had started earlier or decades even before I was born. But when I started in my own time of 2017, people were always writing, Independence now, 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 independence. It must be now, now, now. Look, let me tell you this. It will never, it may not be in our generation. Mr. Chris, you know what
That's a
has personally
very,
happened?
very good point. And that is a point. Hold on. I like that line of thought. That is very good and critical because when I see leaders come into this thing and they are trying to hang on, and they think they are going to Boya to become the ministers and presidents in Ambazonia, I just laugh. You just don't know what happened the next day. You just cannot. In fact, you may even
Mr.
go before Bia goes, even though he's
Mr.
90
Chris, you
something
know what?
years.
You know what I have personally suffered in this without revealing much. You know what I've personally suffered. Look, let me tell you this. Some people feel it is a luxury to just come and sit in front of the TV cameras and talk. You don't know what
Right.
is going on behind the scenes. You have no clue as to what is happening. Some of us, we've sacrificed our futures to put in the
I mean,
line
they
our
just can't tell.
name, our names that you could Google from our offices, and it's Tapang Ivo terrorism, Tapang Ivo
Right.
terrorist.
Right.
Whereas I have no criminal record, I've never been investigated, never been arrested, never been anything you can think of in the United States or even elsewhere. But guess what? Your propaganda media keeps writing Tapang Ivo terrorists. How do your employees sit at work and look at you? Well, that is a political sacrifice. When we sit here saying, don't cry independence now, 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 because we are not gaining anything out of it. We are spending our time sacrificing and putting our lives for you because it will be in my child's generation that you will see that complete independence. It will not be in our generation. So if you want to rush it and say, oh no, we are suffering, we are doing this, guess what? You are wasting your time. You are not ripe for the revolution. This would take at least 30 years. If you want to facilitate it and make it 10 years, buy guns, buy bullets, defend your women and children, defend your territorial integrity, do exactly what Ukrainians are asking for. All Zelensky walks around asking for is guns, bullets, planes to reciprocate the force from the enemy. We have to do the same thing. That is the only solution. It will not come from political leaders who sit and say they are presidents of whatever. Not even Ayabacho will be president. He will not even be alive. He will not, Ayabacho will not be alive when Ambazonia will be free. Let me tell you this, get it from my mouth. I've said it from day one, I will say it. Even Mr. Atem here will not even be alive when we will get this thing. So he is sacrificing a lot to put his face out there for something that he could be arrested the next day. People should get this really clear. And that's why I will stand the testimony the next 30 years when I'll be turning maybe 50 something. I will stand the testimony to say, this is what I told you 30 years ago. Do you now listen? Are you now listening? Have you even arrived there? That is the point.
No, Ivo,
I,
I don't think. I think you are being too categorical there, as if
I
you
think
see
that
the
is a little
future.
bit
No,
being over pessimistic. Yes, we may not be
exactly. They're
there
being
to,
too
we may not be
pessimistic.
there when
Uh,
Ambazonia is
we
independent as leaders,
Yes,
but at
we
least
should
as
only say we
citizens.
may not be there. Look, let me tell you the reality. Let me come back to what Comrade Chris has. You see, people say, well, it's not giving us, it is giving. To know the impact of your action, see how the enemy is reacting to it. That is when you will know that what you are doing is hurting the enemy. Seriously.
Correct.
Look at the enemy's reaction to our ghost towns. Why are they struggling day and night doing everything to abolish ghost towns? Because they are hurting them seriously. They are hurting them more than the people we kill.
Absolutely.
So we must
And
understand that
no, I agree.
this is not a war that you win by killing people. This is not a war that you
Correct.
win by doing those things. It is a war of attrition. The person who
Yes.
can persevere to the end will be the person who will
Will
win this
survive.
war.
Correct.
So let our people be very aware of this. Don't expect that when you kill one person, La Republic will declare that, oh, the war is over, or when you do goes down. No. See La Republic's reaction to what you are doing, and you will know that what you are doing has real impact, even if your own people are not seeing it. So that is how
And
we must
let me just
measure
add here,
the
we
impact
are
of
not
our actions.
let me just add here, we're not even advocating for killing. No, I even hate that word. We are advocating for defending our women and children. As long as these guys are in our land, we will keep defending our women and children and our territory. Look, As Comrade Atem has rightly said, ghost towns, boycott, civil disobedience, these are all attrition strategies. Yes. The longer we could sustain this, the weaker Cameroon becomes. Cameroon was stronger in 2017 than now. Cameroon is really weak. Its GDP has fallen. Its PPP, its purchasing power parity is nowhere to be, is closer to the floor. Cameroon can barely survive. Brazzaville, the Cameroon is already parking out. This is exactly the strategies that we need in Ambazonia. But it is not enough. We need to bring in the fourth arm, which means the right to bear arms, the United States' Second Amendment right, because we are fighting for democracy, we are copying from the United States. If the right to bear arms is good in America, why should it not be good for the people of Ambazonia?
Well, that is a good point, and I think it is very important to point out to the doubting Thomases out there who say, "What are we benefiting? What are we gaining with lockdowns and ghost towns?" It's very important to point out to them that when Cameroon begins to go beyond its means to shut
Correct.
down business, shut down the economy, just to try to end it, you know it is pinching them, it is hurting them. And that should give us more reason to hold on to it and say, until it is over, it is not over. Which is the reason we are telling Ambazonians beginning Saturday, February the 10th, through the 11th, which is Sunday, 11 February, Monday the 12th being a ghost town, everybody, including schools and public transportation, everything gets shut down. Now, to another point about this, I learned that one group out there came out and announced they are calling for lockdown for 6 days. No, beginning on the 6th of February, and I just nodded my head and in disapproval, wondering what is going on in their minds. We are not going to win this war through shutting. If we shut down Ambazonia for 1 year, we will not win the war. What we are doing is symbolic of our resolve and our determination to take over our country. And so to declare a lockdown from the 6th through to the 12th, almost 2 weeks, to punish people who are already so much in pain, is no longer to our advantage. And so we want Ambazonians on the ground to know lockdowns and ghost towns are not meant to punish our own people. They are meant to send a message to the world and to La République du Cameroon that we will resist and resist and resist until we have taken over our territory. Tapan, what is your thought about that? Calling for a lockdown from February the 6th? I think it sounds insane to me.
Well, yeah, it truly sounds insane. I don't think we should be punishing our people with our own strategies. Instead, we should be looking for opportunities where they could benefit, where they could really reap the fruits of their labor in resisting against La République du Cameroon. So the lockdown from the 6th, it will not hold. It should not even work. That lockdown is a significant strategy where people can prepare for the lockdown. Just 1 or 2 days before the lockdown, then after the lockdown itself, give it a day break, and activities should resume normally. So I think some people, some groups are using this particular revolution to beef up or to buff or to stamp out their authorities over the people of Ambazonia as if they were a government and president of something that you are not even on the ground. For heaven's sake, we've just seen one self-defense force member, Efang, who was picked out from the hospital, his dying bed, to go and be slaughtered somewhere else in La République du Cameroon. I keep asking the question, can we do the same thing in the same hospital for their own citizens lying in, for their own officials, state terrorists or soldiers lying on our hospital beds without even raising attention? That is a question I'm asking. It's not as if I'm ordering something, I'm just putting a question out there. But guess what? Because we have this lockdown, we wanted this to always be a strategy where we can significantly tell the international community that on this day alone, we don't agree with neighboring La République du Cameroon. We are not saying the days before. We are not saying the days after. So whatever group is calling for this for lockdowns between the 6th of January or February or whatever to what infinity date, it is null and void, and it should not be respected.
Comrade Dennis, your turn, please.
Now, Comrade Chris, I would not pick on something that I don't know where it comes from. If one of the leaders signed it, we could
It's
address
it should
ourselves.
call the name of the
The
leader.
message
Call it
is
out.
out there.
Call it out.
The
What group
message
is
is
that?
out, but
That is
who
coming from
signed it? We didn't see anybody who signed
the
it.
Sako
You get the
people and
point?
Comrade Dennis.
No, I mean Sako is a thief.
Yes.
Sako has no authority. From what Sako? The
No,
guy
no,
who's
no, no. I would take a different approach to that. I don't want us to come and deal with rumors or things that people could just put out there just to cause confusion
please,
amongst us.
please. No, hold on. That's where you are wrong. We're not dealing with rumors. The
So
message is out.
which group put that out?
Sako group put out that message, and we've gotten a lot of feedback from that. In fact, I can read a message. Hold on. Let me get.
don't even publicize it. Mr. Chris, don't even publicize it.
A
Just read
message
it
from
out.
somebody.
Yeah.
Let me read a message from somebody reacting to that call for lockdown. I say, hello, President Chris. Who are those calling for a lockdown from February 6, 2024? This is too much for the already impoverished population.
Exactly.
These unnecessary calls.
That is why I'm saying that some people could just put that out to revolt our people, not necessarily any of the Ambazonian leaders. It may not necessarily be any of the Ambazonian leaders who has put out that information.
What you don't know, what we know.
No, I'm not defending anybody because you have not been able to cite any group that put out that information.
We're not talking about
Okay,
what we
no,
don't know.
Mr.
We're talking about an
If it's
official
true, do you
statement sent
disagree
out
with the
and
Comrade
information?
Chris, I am asking the simple question: which group put out that information?
Sako put it out.
Okay, because I was in the forum, people were doubting who put out that information. Nobody was sure whether it was Sako who put it out or who.
Sako
I don't
put
know.
it out.
Okay, so
people are not. People
So
are mad with it.
what's your
We're not
opinion,
going
Mr.
to punish.
No, what's your opinion, Mr. Atem? Now that you know,
no, that is too long. Of course, that is too long. That is too long. Definitely, it's too long. Definitely, it's too long. I totally say definitely it's too long. 2 days of boycott lockdown is enough to send the message. You know,
Exactly.
it's enough to send the message. Yes. How can you put 1 week lockdown for an event of 1 day? No, I think that is too long. That is too long.
All right, comrades, please, if you still have some more time, stay put in there. I'm going to take a brief break out, and when I come back, I will open the phone lines to get contributions from our listeners. Please, don't touch your remote. Just stay put in there. All right. Thank you for staying put out there, ladies and gentlemen. At this moment, I am going to open the phone line for those of you watching and listening across the globe to call in. Give us your own take on the issue of this 11 February, the celebration of 11 February in the Ambazonia, a historic event that has been from time immemorial, but which Ambazonians started 2016. I mean, I would say it didn't really start in 2016. Ever before that, we always resisted 11 February, so long as they call it a Youth Day. And of course, 20th May is another one of those contentious celebrations that we have also resisted. And we have made it very clear that going forward, we shall never again celebrate forced holidays. Forced holidays referring to the year 11 February, the year 20th May, and the rest. We meant it when we declared in 2017 we are taking back our country. So we will no longer allow La République du Cameroon to force these celebrations upon us. Paul Biya made it very clear in France that they have tried and continue to try to assimilate us, completely swallow us. And thank God he made that statement. We know what we are fighting for. We know what we are resisting. We will never go back to that shit. We will never go back to that shit. And that is why we have said bye-bye, bye-bye to 11 February, bye-bye to 20th May, bye-bye to anything that La République du Cameroun wants to force upon Ambazonia, including their elections, everything that they put out there. Again, the phone number is there on your screen. Before you call, please make sure that you shut down the volume of your TV set if you are watching on television. Before you call, make sure that you shut down the volume of your TV and focus on your phone when you call. Again, the number is right there on the screen. Before you call, make sure the volume of your TV is lower. Tune down. Tune down. May I remind all of you again out there watching that I'm still waiting to get your messages about belonging to the 200 club, the 1,000 people belonging to the 200 club. Please, I look forward to your messages. Let them come in. The phone number is on the screen there. Now let us get back to something that has been going on. A lot of people to Cameroon's attempts to cook up normalcy, but the restoration for fighters telling a lot of people to Cameroon, it is not going to happen. We saw the restoration fighters out there in Mbonge displaying a stock of ammunition, and I guess a lot of people to Cameroon officials were there biting their teeth and saying, we thought these guys are all killed. We thought we took all the arms from them. Where is this coming from now? Kumba, in that place, in that matter. And yet, we have also seen that a lot of people to Cameroon media crying foul that Ambazonia restoration fighters stopped and burnt down construction equipment on the so-called Bamenda Womb Road. We also learned that in Indu, Ambazonia restoration fighters killed 5 La République du Cameroon soldiers. I don't know what it will take for Cameroon to realize that Ambazonia is never giving up. If one town, one county is cold, maybe inactive, it doesn't mean the war is over. There was a moment in this struggle, in this war, when only the BLM was fighting. Did the struggle die? Of course not. Today we have Bui, the Bui warriors lifting up the struggle, and others are trying to pick it up too. Has it died? It hasn't, and it is not going to die. We hope that those cronies in La République du Cameroon realizes and speak truth to power to those who sit within the confines of that to the palace that Ambazonia is not going anywhere. Ambazonia is not going anywhere. I've always said 30 years. Yeah, if you take 30 years, for as long as we get Ambazonia, even if it is not my generation, so be it. So be it. Yeah. Do they think they can impose normalcy? I've always start with you.
No, first of all, there will never be the position to impose normalcy on the people of Ambazonia. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, they will never be in the position to impose normalcy on the people of Ambazonia. Why? Because the people of Ambazonia, since especially 2017, we've not only risen up in knowledge, we've risen up in arms to defend ourselves. Mr. Chris, you would agree with me that even before 2017, our fathers had Dane guns, and maybe even to display with Dane guns in public was considered a crime by neighboring Cameroon. Never in my dreams would I ever have thought that the ordinary Ambazonian would be carrying an AK 47. Now we've made it extremely possible and extremely possible that people can rise up in arms to defend themselves, which is a great thing that we must speak about. So when you talk about Cameroon having authority over us, I am still thinking of how they would be able to disarm us or to engage in any kind of disarmament, demobilization policy. It's only the United Nations that would ever do so. It's just like you saying the American government can disarm the people of Texas because they have guns, or the American government can disarm the people of, let's say, California because they have the right to bear arms. It will never happen. It can happen in a democracy, but especially in a conflict zone like Ambazonia, a conflicting, a tumultuous conflict with flashpoints here and there. It is impossible. I don't see the possibility of any citizen with a gun to give it up just so easily without the United Nations stepping in. And this is the right time for us to resolve this once and for all.
Comrade Dennis, what do you think is going to take for our Republic to Cameroon? I mean, we are from the BLM, both of us. And I mean, all of us here are from the BLM.
All
I'm
of us.
surprised. Okay. This is the BLM partner, I guess. So, but Comrade Dennis, you have seen the battle
Yes.
being fought in the BLM to get no mercy, no mercy, to return to the BLM after all other public administrators were were forced to leave. And they are trying to do that everywhere you go. They go to Ngi, they go to Njikwa, they go to everywhere. They use this cultural development association to try to push no mercy. Do you see that ever happening anytime soon without this conflict being over?
Comrade Chris, colonial masters all over the world, not just Cameroon, commit two mistakes. First, they never believe that those they occupy will mature enough to resist them and overcome them. Just remember when the white people came to Africa, they were thinking that Africans were just good monkeys that could be beaten to work harder. So they would remove their glasses and here hang on coffee trees or cocoa trees, and the people would be there believing that the white man was still looking at them and continue working. Those same people that were considered as animals grew to the point that they overthrew the white people and sent them out. So they never believed that the people they occupy would become mature enough to resist them. That is the first mistake they make. The second mistake they make is that they think that a colonial war is like a shooting war. No. You see, if the Republic declares normalcy today, tomorrow we will re-emerge. We attack at our own point. We choose the moment to attack them. We choose when to attack them. We choose the place to attack them. So as long as we continue to be oppressed, so long we will continue to reemerge. So it is a fight that will never end until the conditions that are producing the fight come to an end. So La Republique is wasting its time. Even if for 1 month, 2 months, every place is quiet, it should not conclude that the matter is over because we will reemerge. Inevitably, we will reemerge. So let La Republique not be confused by anything to say that, oh, there have been for 3 months, there has been no shooting, every place is quiet, so the war is over. No, it will reemerge inevitably because it is not in the nature of the human being to accept the kind of oppression that La Republique is putting us through. No, we have our own territory. We had our own government. We cannot today just simply give all of that up to a foreign country pretending to be our brothers. No, they're complete foreigners, thieves, armed robbers. That's what they are. The world has not learned to recognize that Colonialism is actually international armed robbery of one people against another. That is pure armed robbery, nothing else. Armed robbery is what La République du Cameroon is exercising against us, and we should call it only armed robbery. Nothing else. That is what it is. It is pure armed robbery.
You are
So,
using
as
the
long
words
as
of
the armed
Ahmed
robbery
Mugam.
concerned, no, that is armed robbery. It is nothing else. I'm just describing it as exactly as it should be. It is pure armed robbery. So we must continue to resist the armed robber until they can no more attempt to invade us. That is how it will be. So
No,
there's nothing that the Republic will
absolutely.
do. It's simple for La République du Cameroon to come to the table, but I translated this their secret document and put it out, and you saw what they said in it. They said the number of people who die in this war does not matter. All that matters is for them to stay in power.
Right.
They said it clearly there. So we should be aware that we are dealing with animals, not human beings. We are dealing with animals, not human beings. You see, so we should be aware of that.
Absolutely. You know, one thing I have said again and again in this world that, sometimes our people get so downcast, they think we are losing, we are going to give up, La Republic is going to win. And I said, listen, in this war, we don't necessarily need to win La Republique du Cameroon at battle. All we need to do is keep it going on. We have all the time on our side. Cameroon doesn't have the leverage of the time that we have on our side because they have debt to pay. They have a civil service to pay. They have construction to do. And I mean, a lot and a lot and a lot to do. And you realize that for as long as the war goes on, they can't afford the funds to take care of these other needs, and they can only squeeze them, squeeze them. So nobody should think that we have to win before we win. We have to declare, capture the Republic Army and decimate them, finish with them in Ambazonia before we declare victory. We don't have to. We just need to keep this thing going until our Republic sees the need to sit down and say, okay, you want to go? You say you want to go? You believe all of you want to go? Let's talk about, why not come and let's talk about referendum? Or why don't we sit down and discuss about this? Well, that is where we are headed to. Not necessarily going to win in the battlefield, but we are looking forward to the point where La Republic sees the need to say, okay, let's sit down and talk. Or let's get to let your own people decide. Let's call for a referendum, or they call it plebiscite, whatever name they give to it, for as long as it allows our people to choose what they want. That's the point I have made again and again. Ivo, please, if you want to add something, anything there.
Yes, I completely agree with you. I mean, the people of Ambazonia have the right to choose whom they want. The issue or the principle of self rule or self governance is absolutely applicable here. Um, if the people of a neighboring Cameroon, or the Cameroon village, as I always call it, if the neighboring Cameroon villagers are comfortable with the village chief called Paul Biya Bartholomew being Vondo, we are not comfortable with him in any way. They have the right to keep him in power till eternity, but we have the right to say, hey, we want to self-rule. We want our community development. We want our people to bear the rights to have guns and parade the streets and defend our women and children who are endangered species. We have the right to fight against these colonial tendencies of La Republique. So if we've decided at some point that we want to elect our leaders, we will do it. As of now, I believe in every other group coming up with their own leader, but we should be heading towards the same path towards independence. And we should always try to synchronize our strategies. That is very important. You just raised a point here that someone is calling for ghost towns from the 6th of February. Well, it's because our leaders are so divided. I mean, among us, we should be able to sit down and call each other and say, hey, this is the strategy we should put in place. But I also understand the limitation here because we have some unscrupulous leaders who sit there and think that they are the authority or they're the alpha and omega in Ambazonia, and they can destabilize the population by putting ghost towns even against the people's wish. But that will not happen. So let us give respect, especially to those who are on the ground. For heaven's sake, for more than 5, 7 years, These guys have sacrificed their lives on the ground. But we've been sitting in America eating the burgers and the hamburgers, and we think all is fine on the ground. It is impossible.
Wonderful. That is great there.
Comrade Chris,
Dennis.
let me add something to this. The reality is that uh, we should tell Cameroon that we are not against any solution. Yes. We are not, as long as that solution is not imposed either by La République du Cameroon or the international community, we are not against it. All that we are saying is that that solution must be decided by the people of Ambazonia. That is our position. That is our position. It may be that when the people of Ambazonia decide, they say, oh, we want to remain with Cameroon, so be it. If they decide that we want federation, so be it. If they decide that we want independence, so be it. That is why we say the only solution to this conflict is an internationally supervised referendum for the people of Ambazonia to decide their fate. Let the people of Ambazonia decide and tell the world where they stand in this conflict. That is not so difficult. Even the white man accepted that when they colonized Africa. But here we are in Africa with a neighboring country trying to kill everybody because they want to impose their will on them. We cannot accept that. We cannot accept that. The only thing we accept is that our people must be the people to make up their minds about what they want. And that is where we stand. Let us make it this very clear. Let them not keep fighting, thinking that they will kill everybody and impose their will. No, they will not impose their will. And we are saying that let our people be consulted. Let them tell La République du Cameroon and the world what they want. That is all. That is all.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, gentlemen. To the audience, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that the phone here was muted and no call was coming in right now. The phone is unmuted, so you want to call, you can go ahead and call. We have a few minutes to go. I will let my guests off the hook, but before they do, let's take this caller here. Hello.
Hello, Comrade, please. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
I'm calling from Batunja County.
Ngo Ketunje County. All right. What is on your mind, sir?
Yeah, so I agree with you that the 2 days, that is the day before and the day itself, is okay for us. Yes.
All right.
But there is something I don't agree with. I don't agree with what Comrade Tapang Ivotan Co said.
And what did he say?
That it has to take about 30 years. And what
You must be a man of faith, right?
needs a major destructive arm. Yes, we have a major destructive fire. Then I think that the people will start running before we will take the next move. That is unity together.
All right.
That's the
I
first
can
major
barely
arm.
understand what.
The guns will come without, naturally. The guns will come naturally. And more actions to take. I think that is what I want to say.
All right, all right. Thank you. I can barely understand what you are trying to say. Your network is so bad, but I get the point you are trying to make. I don't think Ivo is saying that it is going to take 30 years. I think he is just saying, hey, let's prepare our minds. Could be 10 years, could be 40 years, could be 15 years, but let a lot of public know that even if it takes that long, we will still be into this. Am I wrong, Ivo?
I completely agree with you. Sometimes you just have to let the people understand that, hey, the task you're about to take is a difficult one. Do you really want to take this task? If not, back out. If not, give it. If so, then join us on the street. When Jesus Christ started selecting his 12 apostles, he did not say, "Hey, oh, it's going to be an easy ride." He even mentioned that they're going to die for this thing, and so all of them still agreed. He said, "Hey, Peter, leave your fishing. You have been a fisherman for the rest of it, for the a good part of your life, and come, let's fish, men." So, I mean, there are a couple of things that people have to lay straight. I'm somebody who is a very blunt person in life, and I will not sugarcoat things just because I want to have followers, or sugarcoat things just because I want to make you feel pleased and pampered. It will not happen. From day one in this revolution, everyone saw me writing on my page, "Independence will not come now, now, now." It's just to allay fears or allay hopes that, oh, independence is tomorrow. What if it doesn't come tomorrow? People start dropping out. And that's why you see people have dropped out of this revolution, because they had the intention that it would have been
Yes.
maybe 1 or 2 years.
Yes, I think from the very beginning of this struggle, I think the overwhelming majority believe 6 months, 1 year,
Six
2 years
months. Yeah.
will be in
Yeah.
Boya. This thing will be
Yeah.
over. There will be ministers, there will be directors and
Yeah.
presidents, the head of states of Ambazonia. I think that was a mistake many people made.
But
All
we
right, let
also
me
we
get to
also
this
misfired.
caller.
I mean, I would agree with them, because we also misfired. If you
Yeah, let
allow
me
this
let,
thing,
let me get
I
to
would
the
say,
caller
okay.
here and I get back to you. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Chris.
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, I'm calling from Sweden.
From Sweden. Okay, what is
Yeah.
there on your mind?
First of all, I want to thank you guys for putting this whole team. Uh, Talking to Mr. Tapang, who has been a very, very fervent promoter of this struggle. We still believe in him. And my idea of calling is to share the idea that Ambazonia is too big. There's one of our leader who is portraying the fact that he can change something, like this guy, they call him Ngong, this guy Ngong
Kapo
Long
somebody.
Emmanuel.
Kapo
Long
something, yeah.
Emmanuel. Yeah.
If there's any way Ambazonia is too big, he should organize himself and take his own part of Ambazonia and stop leave Ayaba.
Well, he was gunning for mayor of Ambazonia.
Yeah, he should take his own part and allow Ayaba alone to do it. He should move on his lane. Mr. Tapang just said something very, very important, that those who are moving towards independence should join, and if he wants to move for Scotland, Ireland, he should keep his lane. He should leave the leaders he should play his own lane and
Comrade, hold on there. I hear you, but my question is whether you really believe it is everyone who is in this struggle to see us free. Because when you are referring to people like Ngong, the Ngong guy you are referring to, I have always thought this guy will sell us to the highest bidder. I mean, we listen to audios of him negotiating millions in CFA with La Republique to Cameroon to hand us over, and you come here and tell us we should allow him to take his own chunk of Ambazonia.
No. What I mean is he should get his own chunk and do what he can do, and he should allow Ayaba to do his own job.
Okay.
And those other leaders, Ambazonia is too big. Get your own share, do what you can do inside, so far as we are moving to one direction. Don't disturb another leader like what he's doing.
Right. All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. Tapan, you have something to add there before I get to the next caller?
Yes, I completely agree
All
with
right.
you. He raised a pertinent point about Ngong Emmanuel, alias Capo Daniel, who is currently residing in Canada. This guy, if you've realized, all the times that every group he has been in, it's been chaos. I don't know who keeps admitting him to these groups. He's been taking chaos along with him. From the days of Sisiku Ayoktabe, he came up as the whatever ambassador to some Middle East or something, whatever. He caused troubles, insulted leaders, left to this group, insulting leaders. Now, with ADF, you see comrades are dying on the ground. Capo Daniel has openly said he is leaking. He will be leaking out the hideouts of every single soldier of the ADF. You may not be a lover of ADF to sympathize with the ADF. You just need to be a human to sympathize with those humans who are on the ground fighting for humans like you and I. That's the
Abs-
basic logic.
Absolutely. Let's get back to the phones. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Comrade Great.
Yes, where are you calling from, please?
Yes, I am the caller who just called from Gotrija County.
Oh, okay.
I am coming in. Yeah, I'm coming in with a proposal.
Quickly, so I can get to others who haven't called yet.
The most important thing.
Yes,
Yes,
go
the
on.
most important thing we need now is unity. And I will propose that some Southern Cameroonians should form a group, which I propose Comrade Tapang Ivo Tanku should be championing that group so that they can move to these ringleaders, these genuine leaders, talk to them so that they can come together. From there, I think the way forward will be clear.
All right, thank you. Let's get to the other callers. Thank you. Let's see. Ground zero. Hello.
Hello, Dr. Chris.
Yes, sir. Can you
Yes,
raise your
Chris.
voice a little bit, please?
This Colonel Amoka from the Buffalo Sonyonga.
Conrad Amoka. Good to hear your voice, sir. Are you sure you are Amoka?
Yes, I left you some audio messages and some written messages on your timeline.
I didn't get that. Sorry about it. Listen, after you finish talking, drop me a message by text so that I can get your number. I cannot get your number just with a call because so many calls are coming in. But if you drop me a message after your call, I can get back to you. But go on, sir. Hi, it's Go Ketunja.
I'm not from Gotunja, I'm from the Buffaloes.
Oh,
I am
Buffaloes.
from the
Okay,
Buffalo Sonyonga.
yes.
I am from the Buffalo Sonyonga, the son of Grandpa.
Yes,
of Bali
right.
Nyonga.
All right, go on, sir. What is on your mind?
I want you to let the TV Mont know that they have to apologize to the Ambazonia people
Okay.
for using our flag to represent a deadly nation that is killing our people.
I think that is a consensus I'm hearing. We will definitely do that.
Yes, they have to apologize to us. They cannot use our sovereign flag, the flag of the legitimate people of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia, to represent the nation that has refused to succumb to international laws, have refused to succumb to negotiations, and is killing our people every blessed day. I'm talking from ground zero, from my heart out.
Mm-hmm. Thank
Yes.
you. All right. Thank you. I hear you. You guys remain safe out there. Give my greetings to Grandpa, okay?
Yes, I left you some audio messages before I called.
Oh, okay.
On your
All right. Good.
timeline.
All right. Then I will get that.
Yes, they must apologize to us too. We are a sovereign nation. They cannot use our flag to represent a nation that is deadly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, they have to apologize to us. They have to pay indemnities to us and damages for using that flag.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I hear you. Thank you. Remain
I'm
safe.
talking only to you because you are the only person in diaspora who have gone a little bit far to do some diplomatic works.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I appreciate that. You guys remain safe out there.
Okay, we pray for our safety, and you pray too for us.
All right. All right. All right. Can you imagine how educated these boys in the bush? These are not dropouts or people who like
Exactly.
stuff. Did you hear him? Did you hear the grammar coming out from him? These
Yeah.
are guys, educated guys, who are sacrificing to free this country, and people sit out here in the diaspora and think it's a joke. Anyways, let's see. The phone line is open, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and call. Go ahead and call. All right, let's get to ground zero again. This is Nikki, I guess. Hello. Hello. I think the network is not good. Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma'am. Where are you calling from, please?
Yes, from Ground Zero, Neza Division.
Mezam County, not division. That is a lot of public
Oh, yeah,
terminology.
Mezam Country.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, Mezam Country.
That is fine. You are forgiven.
I want to thank you people for discussion. I thank you people. The thank winner, as we see, as we the fight over the thank winner.
Thank you. Very much appreciated to
The
know.
thank winner.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, I beg you, say, with the praise, say, God will control, and I would try so that we pick it, we can be free, we will be free.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
We don't see.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't see that flag where they put and so we check say whether they're the one doing how they want condemn this country or now waiting, but now only more put and for.
More with grace and God they fight for us, now God they work for us.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, plenty.
All right. Thank you for the call. You guys remain safe out there.
Yes. Bye.
Bye. All right. Let's get back again to ground zero. Hello.
Yeah, Congress, please, more grace and prosperity life.
Thank you, sir. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Mezam Country.
Mezam country. Okay. Wait today for your mind, sir.
Yes, I want to say, meanwhile, no worry, we for ground zero will be at alert for 11 from by say, we get coffee, they say, no money to come up for our side that day.
Wonderful.
Another one I want to say, they will get some lockdown for Bamenda, when Bamenda a Cock Road, where we don't know play where it come out since last week Monday, where they put a lockdown, we don't know play where it come out. And see you be talk for lockdown for 11 February, we will still say whether you will measure that one, you don't measure that you. So we don't really know where we also with that lockdown a come out. We are totally in confusion.
If we put any lockdown, when I know say we dey come for TV, we dey explain them why we dey put lockdown. But if you know not hear from us, no say no be we. The problem where we dey face am for this world, it be say anybody where carry gun, dey for ground zero, fit say anything, fit do anything. And when people they fear their lives, they just respect them. We hope say people where they put them at the year now from the people where they put them, they will come out explain them, but we have no hand in it, we have nothing to do about it.
Yeah, because people they fear their people they fear some two drivers there for that Mafia Bamida Road. So people they fear.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the call. Let me run to other callers. All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Where are you calling from?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Mezam County.
Okay, wonderful. What's your day for your mind, sir?
Well, I just respect my junior brother, Comrade Tapang, because which way talk in last message we give him, I really be happy because he get idea like Capo Daniel Muna come together and they wanna look for a way make those killings.
So you get idea like who? Hello?
Like Tapan Ivo, we don't talk say we wanna come together, wanna decide for get something good.
Okay, yes.
Yes, because Tapan get a very good idea, and at the same idea where Tapan Ivo don't talk, Capo Daniel don't talk and say, we not feel win militarily, it be impossible.
No, listen to Capo Daniel. I want to tell you this. No, listen to
Tapan go vex if you connect it with with Capo Daniel. So your request will be good, but the link will not be it detest them. So, but of course we hear you. You know we don't talk this collaboration for a long time. Whatever should be done will be done. Thank you for the call, sir.
Okay, sir.
All right, all right. So many callers. The phone number is still open, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and call if you want to. If you miss the call.
I want just continue to talk while the calls will come
right.
in. May that guy not listen to Capo Daniel at all. Capo Daniel a black leg, just like
hello. I think this is a network issue here. Sorry,
can you hear
sir,
me?
you have a bad network. You can maybe call again.
Can you hear me?
All right. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, where are you calling from, sir?
Comrade Chris, I'm calling from the nearby country.
Nearby country. Which country are you referring?
Yeah, you know the number, you know that number, verify that number, you will know it from Gabon.
Is it Gabon?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, 241. All right. What you do in your mind, sir?
Yeah, somebody just talked about Capo Daniel. I just wanted to bring a suggestion, and I thank you all from that station for what people have been saying about this revelation.
Thank you. Go on.
Yeah. So the suggestion that I have, the ABC channel, they have been talking about unity. I sure that the problem of unity did not even concern you by now, because you are the one who started it. They should look for people in diaspora. When ABC is on for show, about 10 to 20 people just begin to call Sako, whatever propaganda they have, they just begin to disturb Sako. If Sako don't want unity, he should drop.
No, they cannot pick. They cannot pick the phones on their shows, and they don't even allow comments on their shows. So that would be a futile initiative.
Okay.
Comments are blocked, for me, and phone calls are selective. Yes.
That's a problem. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the call.
Those are the blacklegs. Those are the blacklegs from this revolution. The thieves.
All right. Now you call them. All right. All right. Have a great day, sir. Thank you for the call.
Okay. Same to you all.
All right.
May God bless you.
All right. Okay. All right, Comrade Dennis and Tapang, I guess I will let you go, but before you go, I guess listening to all these callers, you have something to say before you go, but let me get to this last caller before you go. Hello. Hello. Well, it's a poor network. This guy has been trying to call, but he's not. Hello. 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 Okay, it's not picking the phone. All right, Tapang, I give you, please take 1 minute to respond to all these callers before you go. Oh, I think Tapang is frozen on the screen. Comrade Dennis, are you still there? Okay, I think they are all gone. They are all gone. All right, that is okay. Let me get to the phones. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Comrade Chris.
Good evening, sir. This is South Africa number. Are you calling from South Africa?
South Africa. I'm calling from South Africa.
Which city? Which town?
I'm calling from Cape Town.
I
Cape
know,
Town. I always watch you on my
I know is it Polokwane or Poly,
no Poliquani, but it's in Limpopo. I'm from
Limpopo,
Cape Town.
yes, Johannesburg, Pretoria, I think these are three
Yes.
places I have been to.
Yes, it's a nice place. It's a nice country. Yeah, I love watching your show, especially the one of today. It's great, man.
Yeah, you have to watch me
So
because I am handsome, isn't it?
You are handsome and you are powerful also. You're pushing. You're pushing, yeah. Yes.
All right.
So Taban Ivo, I love to see you sitting next to Comrade Chris. There were years that you couldn't even look at him. So it shows that the unity is coming through. So yeah, I've been watching the program. You know, South Africa just sued Israel
Right.
for the genocide in Palestine. So Ambazonia's story is not different from that, and that is just how Africa is. Talking about our own unity, I've been to Ground Zero several times. I don't see any coordination on the ground. That is what worries me a lot.
Yeah,
The soldiers,
that is very true. But we are working on something at least at the level of the fighters on the ground. The civilian population is going to take a lot of courage for anybody to show up on the ground like John Frundi in the 90s to say, you know what, I am going to lead my people to freedom. It's going to be really hard. Maybe until we get a territory that we control, that somebody will emerge from there and run it. But for now, I think we have to look at everything from the perspective of the fighting force on the ground.
No, that is true, Comrade Chris. And then concerning like the contributions and whatever contribution that someone is supposed to make, actually now you don't know where the contribution is going. Where you don't see which forces that the contributions go to. I think people need to identify the forces that depend on them on Ground Zero, because sometimes now you get confused. Where are you going to contribute? On whose behalf? On which forces are you contributing?
Well,
That's
listen. Our policy here at this interim government is to see that every fighting force that is working selflessly on the ground, whether be under our control or not, we are able to support them, whether they are under our control or not, for as long as we know they are doing a great job. Look at the Bui warriors, for example. They are doing a great job. They don't have to be under our control before we support them. Everybody agrees they are doing a marvelous job. So when funds come to us, we pick fighters or teams like those ones, send support to them, send support to other teams. That is the way we spread it.
Okay, that is good. That is good. Now I'm clear about that. So you know that this revolution depends on these donations.
Absolutely. So I hope you are going to join the 1,000 Club.
No, I would definitely join. I just need to be at the background because I frequent Ground Zero so much.
You know, absolutely no
always
problem. Absolutely no problem.
Yes.
What you can do is, if you send me a text, I will send you to Resource Mobilization. They will send you the payment options, and you can pay and just stay in the background if you don't want to be in the forum.
No, that's true, comrade. You know, thank you guys so much, and have a great evening.
Thank you, sir.
It's just that your program, you don't always notify people about the time of the show.
No, I do.
So
I
people
do.
get
There's
confused.
always a poster that goes out a day before the show, even including this one. Maybe you just isn't getting it.
Okay, I think so. I think I have to, because I've subscribed to the channel. But most of the time, I have to just be tuning and looking until I get you online.
All right. Well, keep looking at
Thank you
our
very much.
Facebook page. We always put the poster on the Facebook page too. So if you frequent the Facebook site, you will always see when we are coming up with a poster. Thank you for the call.
Thanks very much, Comrade Chris.
All right. Okay. Let me see. Somebody here says, "Good evening, sir." That is it. Hello. Please, we don't need a video call. We don't need a video call. If you want to call, you call on the audio. You want to call, you call on the audio, please, not video. We're not taking video calls. We're taking audio calls. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Again, before I go, I like to remind you all of a very special event. We call it Operation Stop 11th February. Operation Stop 11th February coming up on the February the 4th. Coming up on February the 4th. Let me get to this caller first. Hello. Good evening, sir. Turn down the volume of your set in the background, please. Turn down the volume and focus on your phone.
Yeah, I'm getting what you're saying.
All right. Where are you calling from, sir?
I'm calling from Bamenda Bafut.
Okay. Thank you for calling. What today inside your mind?
Wait, inside my mind, I say, team way, some of the very I say, team and they will, we give the drum where we know the drum.
Yes,
So,
go on.
now we did so, some of you day we just did, but we work.
You be fighter.
Yes.
Okay, inside Bafut.
Yeah.
Okay, who be your commander?
Pardon?
Who be your commander?
I be there under part tiger where he don't go, so I did now, so na under my own I did na under when now, so.
Okay. If you feel send me a message, drop me a message on this number, and then I feel direct you to people where you feel talk to where they feel do something. How about that? Where they feel listen to you.
Okay, no problem. Then I will just send you a message.
All right. When you send a message, remind me saying that you will call for TV, and then I will pass your information to people where they will call you for listen to you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Oh. All right. So I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, that before I call it a night here, I want to remind you of a very important event that is coming up on Sunday, February the 4th. We are having a special fundraiser that we call Operation Stop 11 February in Ambazonia. Operation Stop 11 February celebrations in Ambazonia. I would love to invite every one of you to please show up. It will be live here on TV and on the social media. Please come in with your $500, $100. Let's make sure that as we expect these boys on the ground to enforce 11 February lockdown, that we give them the requisite financial support that they need to carry out that exercise. That is why we are putting that together. So please, February 4th, Sunday, February 4th, that will be live here on ABS. So please, I believe that the people at Resource Mobilization have already sent out a list that is making the rounds in a different fora. If you find the list, Please chip in your $50, your $100, your $25. We want to see we can raise at least $10,000 between now and February 4th to help support the activities towards shutting down this 11 February. Comrades, I am going to end it here today. I want to believe that this has been very educative and illuminating and encouraging place for those of you on ground zero. I like you to know that we have your backs. We have your backs. We will do everything to make sure that it doesn't inconvenience you on the ground. You especially are the people we are fighting for. And if anybody, any leader, any fighter will point his anger or gun over you, abduct you, take ransom from you, know that those are not patriots. They are opportunists. They are opportunists. So once more, thank you very much for being part of the broadcast tonight. I look forward to coming back here sometime next week. God bless you all. Good night.